Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Girls Frontline reaction. Today we have Made in Heaven. This is a song by Vanguard Sound, and from one of the composers of Vanguard that I haven't heard anything from to my knowledge, so this should be nice to hear something a little bit more unique maybe compared to the usual people I am used to hearing. And this was part of a huge request comment by somebody that a bunch of people wanted me to get to, but this was just the first one in the list, and I had a few other individual people asking for this one. But there was also another one that people really wanted me to get to. That name is escaping me, so I'll just put it on screen right now. But that may be the next one I get to, so I guess we'll see if people want me to get to that one. But first we got to get to this one, so without further ado, let's go! Wait up. This might be a bop. It's giving title screen. Or special stage, you know? Ooh. I love that synth rumble underneath there. Ooh. Having some fun with the texture now. All right. This is more upbeat than I thought it would be. Given what Girls Frontline is, I kind of expected something a little bit more serious, but we got kind of a bop going. Really fun use of the synths underneath this texture. Also, side note, why is this character's ear so small? It's a tiny ear. Has nothing to do with the music, but animator brain activates at weird times. Really do love that synth rumble underneath. Just holds everything together during that transition. More industrial percussive stuff in here. Before getting right back into all the energy. There's this really loose synth underneath it too. All right. So like I said, this song kind of gives me a special stage energy. I'm not sure if that's because it's a special stage or it might be a boss or something like that. I can totally see that energy working here as well. But it just has the energy that's making sure that you're aware that wherever you are in this moment, definitely something to keep your attention on, has a lot of energy. It's constantly driving all the way through. Even the spots in there where it does break down, like that spot with that cool low rumble on the synth. I think that's more of an intimidation tactic in here. The sound design is leading me to believe that it's a little bit more of a hey, watch out, we're not done yet, rather than something trying to break the monotony of the song usually would be the case for a short looping theme of sorts. Usually shorter themes that are a minute or 2 minutes long that are designed to loop have just a bridge gap in there in order to make the loop a little bit more seamless as you get back into it and start it up again. And this doesn't really feel like that, even though it does clearly loop. It's just more of a, oh, okay, don't worry, we're not done yet. This might be like a little reprieve, a little moment of rest, but do not get your hopes up that it's over quite yet. And that's not quite the same vibe as those shorter songs that loop and allow for that sort of room. This is more of a, hey, watch out. But the song itself as well was kind of just rubbery. It was bouncy. There's things in the sound design for this one, especially that like low ARP synth underneath everything that was just kind of boinging around underneath, that almost felt a little bit lighthearted, but it might just be there to invoke a little bit of feeling of like mechanical noise, you know, like there's industrial sounds throughout this as well, those more like chain-like percussive elements that are in there, especially at that break section. You get the little vocal trims in there, a bunch of stuff happening to make this feel a little bit more beefy at that one section especially, but overall the energy never really goes away even at that time because it still carries it through and keeps that intimidation tactic rolling. But there's also something very heroic about the melody on this song. It doesn't feel like it's trying to really reflect the character you're fighting against in this special stage or whatever it may be. It more feels like it's a reflection of your intent to beat that character, that event, that situation. A lot of these games can get kind of weird about like what you're fighting. I'm not sure if it would be another character like an NPC boss scenario, or if it's like an environmental sort of thing where it's like you are just at a race against the clock, maybe something like that. It could be a little bit of both even, but there's definitely an overall intimidation factor going on with the speed of the song and how everything is kind of working towards that industrial feel to make sure that you don't feel quite comfortable at any point during this track. And like I said at the beginning, it's kind of nice to hear a song by somebody that I didn't even know was part of Vanguard Sound. I knew that there was more than the few I have heard before and their work. I knew there had to be more people in Vanguard Sound, but it usually is the case where I'll hear very specific people within a studio. The same thing happens with like Arkanites and Hexany Audio. I hear a lot of Obadiah, I hear a lot of David Lynn, and you know, the usual suspects, Eric Castro, but there's a few in there that just kind of show up every once in a while and you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, they're there. So like I'm expecting to see more of this guy's work as I get deeper in to the Girls Frontline music stuff, but I just haven't gotten that deep. I've maybe gotten, what, 5 songs deep or so at this point, so I have a lot to learn about this corner of music and how much variety they may have. I'm not sure if a lot of it is going to be more of this feeling, this industrial, more serious, warlike tone where everything is taken a little bit more aggressively and seriously, or if they're going to have more lighthearted stuff like some of the other games I cover, where it's like a mixed bag of if this is a very serious moment or if it's a lighthearted, goofy sort of thing. I don't know if Girls Frontline does like character themes or anything either. I haven't quite gotten that far into it. So the point is, I'm really not sure what to expect out of this game overall, and I'm always kind of like cautiously optimistic about that because it might just be 50 of the exact same song with a different font, so to speak, or it could be very varied and has a lot of different music to get to. I have seen a bunch of different songs in that list that I mentioned earlier, and a few names I had recognized even in the credits of some other people's comments. So I'm like, hey, maybe I do have something to look forward to as far as the variety goes, but again, won't know if I don't get there. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you want me to get to that other one I mentioned in the beginning, leave it in the comment down below again and let me know that you want me to get to that one or any other song from Girls Frontline. I'll be getting to these about every other week or so, I think is roughly the window I'm going to be doing these. So don't expect them super often, but expect them pretty regularly at very least, like maybe every other week, pretty consistently throughout this year. But yeah, otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for all that stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!